What's good? This is Nigel. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Uplift Fitness Club podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, or if you're not subscribed or following the channel, please be sure to follow the podcast on any platform that you're listening on. Here we talk about fitness, finance, and motivation. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely you want to follow so you can be aware anytime we drop new content. Also, please share the platform, share the podcast with anyone you feel like the content may help. We drop new episodes every single Tuesday faithfully. So with no further ado, let's get it. You bring your personal experience and they bring a speculative scenario in which you are always wrong. Bruh, what are we doing? Yeah. I'm literally telling you, I just went through this and you're telling me no.
Right.
What?
And there's some people out there like that, man.
There's people out there.
Man, I know one right now.
Hey, when the camera
everything. Everything. Like, in regards to like me even go to purchase my car.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that ain't really me. Oh, well, how about this one? That
right.
the one you looking at, they ain't really it. They don't make good cars. What is you talking about?
What's going on, people? This is Nigel.
This is Brad.
This is the Uplift Fitness Club podcast. I don't know what I don't really
Drake. And Drake was on top.
It's true. I think I just ain't like the fact that it was like
Taken away from you.
Yeah. In a whole nother, you know what I'm saying?
You get compared to Drake. You ain't Drake.
Because he was light skinned. That's what it was.
Yeah.
For real. I'm gonna come out and say it, man. Hey, man, don't
Damn,
disrespect. I'm not saying I ain't like him because he was light skinned. It was because he was pulling the attention, you know what I'm saying?
He was pulling attention away from the MJ lovers.
From the
LeBron lovers.
Who was the dark skinned niggas back then that was hot? Was there any others?
Tyrese was already doing movies by then.
Man, they ain't really.
He was singing.
Who was? We ain't had nobody.
Lil Wayne. But yeah,
he was old too. I don't think the girls really liking Lil Wayne in our high school. Like, I think the celebrities that the girls was liking at the time kind of shaped the type of guys that they was going after.
Sometimes. I don't know. It was Chris Brown from like day one. Then
I hated Chris Brown because you know who had Chris Brown in the front of the binder? Who? Man. Dang. But that's a different story for a different day. Hey, hold up. Anyway, so we here to talk about the devil's advocate. Don't play devil's advocate. How we gonna start this off, man? Let me get back in my non-cussing mode. How we gonna start this off, man? Devil's advocate.
What made you think about devil's advocate? How did that come about? Did you watch a show, or did you think of a conversation in the past, or?
So, this is what it is. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
One of them that I listen to from time to time is a comedian named Bill Burr.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a while back, he was talking to his wife, because she come on the show sometimes. And it happens a lot with them. They'll be on the show talking, he like, I hate when people do this. You know what I'm saying? Or this person was being the a-hole in the store, they did X, Y, Z.
Right.
And his wife would be rocking with him up until like a couple minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
Then she like, well, did you ever think about it? Like maybe he would have, did this. Maybe he thought you were gonna do this. Like just playing devil's advocate, you know what I'm saying? Like she might not even believe what she's saying. She's just trying to show him a different perspective.
Right.
But he gets so mad about it. It's like, why do you always like flip the script mid? I'm just trying to tell you what's going on, and you automatically taking the other person's side.
Right. Or
So
not
I'm
taking
like,
a side at all.
Or not taking the side at all.
Right.
It's like I'm not talking to you so that you could take the other side. I'm talking to you to tell you what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So then I brought that into, I'm talking to somebody right now, and I brought that up to her. I was like, so I don't know what I said, but it was basically the same thing. Like I'm talking about something that happened, and she like, well, I mean, maybe that person didn't mean to do that, or like maybe, I said, look, we're not gonna start this.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want us in this relationship, no matter how far we go, like, do not play devil's advocate with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm clearly wrong on something and I'm overlooking it.
Right.
Like mid conversation, do not just take another stance because you just feel like for the sake of
try
arguing.
to change the narrative to make you think.
Like to make me question myself.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I have my perspective. I do not offer perspectives without thought.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever I'm talking to you about has been thoroughly examined in my mind.
Right.
And she agreed. So now the thing about it, like, which we'll get to later, is this common practice for us. Like in conversation, one, we typically tend to argue the opposite. Like it's almost like it's a human nature to just want to look at things from all sides.
Yeah.
But we'll catch it while we're doing it. You know what? Man, fuck that person that did that, man. They bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's get them the context, man. I want to tell them like the actual definition of the devil's advocate, where it comes from, among other things. So I want to get them the definition.
Okay.
So the devil's advocate is a person who expresses a contentious opinion in order to provoke or provoke debate. Damn. A devil's advocate. I'll be doing this in class too. These kids be like, "This nigga don't know how to read."
Hey.
All right, so I'm gonna get them the definition. Hey, I'll be taking pauses.
Hey, kids is funny, man. Kids is so funny. Bro, it just made me think back, like, that's some stuff that I would be thinking about. Like, hey.
I read better than this thing.
You supposed to be teaching me.
Yeah.
I'm about to play my game.
Oh, man. I ain't doing no homework. And that's all they want to do, bro.
Yeah.
Minecraft, Roblox, I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
My little brothers play it. And what's the one everybody plays? Fortnite. There you go. All right, so devil's advocate is a person who expresses a contentious opinion in order to provoke debate or test the strength of opposing arguments. So, obviously, that's pretty straightforward. You're basically somebody come to you with an opinion or an idea, and then you poke holes in it in order to either make them think deeper or to make sure that their idea has merit. Okay. So I'm gonna tell them the origin. The origin is actually from the Roman Catholic Church. It was a position in the church named the Advocatus Diaboli, which just means devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And this person, it was literally their job. It was almost like they were a lawyer, like in court. So the job was to present everything unfavorable about a person proposed for sainthood. So if they was gonna make you a saint, I guess after you died or something like that, they say, well, what about this? This person did this. Are we sure that this person did this?
Right.
They would also uncover character flaws and inconsistencies with the person's story. But it was literally their job. Someone asked them to do that. You understand? So this episode, in my opinion, is really a conversation about belief. So it's a conversation about, like, do you really believe what you're saying? And if you don't believe it, why are you saying it? You understand?
So it's funny. I'm running back in my life and just like, man, what are some situations where I feel like somebody was playing devil's advocate?
Right.
And I think there's several people that I know that do play devil's advocate, and I find it to be it's a toxic trait in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
It's very annoying.
When you give an opinion and the first thing is something else that, like you said, like, do you even believe in what you're saying?
Right.
And I can tell you right now, this first person I'm thinking of, just be saying stuff. Like, they do not believe in what they're saying. They're just saying it to just trigger some type of debate, right? And to make me question, what am I doing when I've already done the research?
Right. And that's the thing. Like, with most people, I will argue, I'm not gonna say most people, but some people don't just talk to talk. Like you don't even really talk a lot.
Right.
So I know if you're saying something, it's a reason behind it. Like, same thing with me. I talk a lot, but I think a lot too. Right. And I spend a lot of time by myself. And if you see me in the car, you would think I was crazy because I'm sitting there talking to myself. Every 15 seconds, I'm gonna say, "Yeah, well, that makes sense." And then I'm filling in the blanks in my head, like just working stuff out, right? So if I'm coming to you with something, it's well thought through. Right. I've already poked holes in this. So unless I'm missing a glaring detail, why are you just pulling this out of the air for no reason? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And why is that the first inclination? Like it's okay to question things, but the first response should not be, well, nah, that don't make sense. Right. What about this? You ever think, just to play devil's advocate? You know what I'm saying?
Actually, I take it back. That trait, man, look. I don't even want you around me when you.
I knew you was gonna say that,
man. Because I know people. I never even really sat back to look to be like, what is that? I never even realized that is playing devil's advocate. I never even realized like, okay, like there's a definition for that type of personality trait, or I don't know what's this classification as.
I guess it's a behavior.
It's a behavior. Okay. So. Yeah, I didn't even know that it was a word out there. Although I knew about devil's advocate, I guess I didn't really know exactly what it meant.
Click that's what, because people don't always say, well, just to play devil's advocate. Sometimes they just do it. Right. So it's like you're not really connecting the two.
Right. Yeah. When you think of somebody playing devil's advocate, you think of somebody being super intentional about it, like. Right. Let's play devil's advocate like it's a game.
Yeah. And I mean, in certain places, it's really good to have that. It's kind of like vetting or like a focus group. Right. That's literally, I'm encouraging everyone to play devil's advocate. Right. I want to know, does this product work? If we bring it to market, what are people going to say? Right. What's the experience like, right? But that's the main distinction between the origin of the devil's advocate and what people tend to do in conversation is, one is an appointed position. The other is something that you're volunteering. And typically it's for the sake of just argument's sake. Right. Not because you believe it or other reasons that we'll get to later in the conversation. So I wrote something, so it's how it shows up today, right? How it shows up typically in conversation. Right. It's when people champion an unaccepted or less popular opinion solely for the sake of argument. It's like the helpless contrarian. Like you don't even, really, I don't think that people walk around saying, I'm gonna detest every point that people bring up to me. Right. But you kind of get into like a archetype or a character where you kind of like have an automatic response. Now it can be positive or it can be negative. Yeah. I'm sure you've met people who their first response is to be very supportive and understanding and like lift you up. You met somebody like that?
Not in a while, but yeah, I can't think of nobody right now, but I know I met somebody like that.
I know somebody like that at my job, and what's crazy is I look at that like with a side eye. Like, bro, why you everything so positive? You know what I'm saying? Like everything is yes, like what? Yeah. You don't even know me. Like you don't know that person. So why are you responding like that? But I think extremes are not always a good thing. Right. Nonetheless, that's a more positive response than to automatically flip people's arguments just for the sake of argument.
Just for the sake, right.
And it's unsolicited. So I heard in this video, it's like an unsolicited hypothetical. It's an unsolicited hypothetical counter argument. And the example that I have, you gonna get this one. Skip Bayless versus Shannon Sharp. Right. It's literally a person who's done it, who's been in the trenches, who understands the NFL, been a professional athlete, understands the locker room dynamics.
To the highest, right?
Hall of Famer.
Right.
Undrafted. Like, he knows every aspect of the NFL.
From low to high.
Arguing with a person who writes about it. Right. Who only writes about it to be provocative. Like, that's his only objective.
Basically, play devil's advocate.
Skip Bayless is the number one devil's advocate in the world. That's all he do. He wake up, how can I disagree
with somebody?
Literally, they probably be in their morning meetings. Like, I know that it's understood. Skip does not believe most of the stuff that he says. Yeah. But Shannon has to take like an integral or like a stance of integrity. Because if he starts saying stuff that doesn't make sense, people gonna question his validity. Skip Bayless has no attachment to being known as like a professional anything other than a writer or a TV personality. Right. So he could say whatever. So he just if he can find a way to oppose something, that's why Shannon will say Damian Lillard had a great game. He dropped 61 points, shot 60% from the field, and then Skip Bayless would be like, but in the fourth quarter, in the last 30 seconds, Dame Lillard was 1 for 2 from the free throw line. It's not like, bro, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like,
yeah.
So let's touch on that unsolicited piece.
Mm-hmm.
Like volunteering information when nobody asks you.
Mm.
How do you respond to that? Like when people just interject themselves into
How do I respond? So my typical response, I got a person in mind, I'm not saying no names.
Yeah, for sure.
But my first response is really just facial expression. It shows you like, what did you... Like I'm not asking. Like honestly, my response is just like I'm not asking you.
Right.
Like I don't even have a response other than like I'm not asking you. One, because I know what you're trying to do. Right? I know that you just got the Skip Bayless syndrome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Before I even knew like okay he's playing devil's advocate. Right. Like I just shut down. Like I'm not asking you. I'm not talking to you. And I continue with my story or whatever I'm talking about.
Right.
So that's my natural response. In the future, it might be different now. Now I'm getting ready to call them out on this devil advocate.
You going through the points I wrote down.
Now I'm getting ready to go over this.
So check this out.
Yeah.
What else did I write? I wrote veiling. Okay, so reasons that people do it, they are actually. Do I want to go reasons? All right, boom. So you could be veiling negative or harmful beliefs.
Right.
Some people do it genuinely because I just want to argue the opposite. I don't even believe this. Right. And I think that's a little bit less negative than a person who actually believes something, but is like trying to hide it by saying, let me just play devil's advocate. No, I'm not really saying that. I'm just saying like, what if?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not, but no, like you a bitch, but like, but I'm saying like,
yeah,
what if someone were to say, nigga, you saying it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you cloaking it with like, I'm not really, I don't believe this. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I
don't even look at it like that too. That is I would say that is worse. I would say that first version will be more annoying.
Right.
And then the second version, yeah.
And I think the first version, I can probably work with a person who is doing that because they probably don't even know that they're doing it.
Yeah.
But a person who is like intentionally doing that, first off, they'll never admit it. It's kind of like racism in 2021 or in modern society, like racism and classism, sex, whatever.
Right.
It's always kind of covert. It's typically not out in the open. Like I haven't been called the N-word to my face in my life. I think you have, right?
Yeah, I got into a fight in a parking lot.
Right.
17. That's another story for you.
Right. So
that's actually the last fight I've ever been into.
But that hasn't happened a lot of times, right?
No, it's only happened once.
Right, but in life, like you might have an exchange with somebody and be like, oh, that person might have been right, or you might have a conversation with somebody and like their beliefs sound real, like I don't know, it sounds like they have this ideology, but they're not espousing it. Like they're not saying I believe this. They're just saying, oh, but I mean, I really do think black people kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I've had that in conversations, but they're veiling their beliefs. The other thing is they're antagonizing people by gaslighting them. So if you don't like a person, sometimes somebody will play devil's advocate just to make the person question themselves, doubt themselves, discount their own opinion, and that's really harmful because some people ain't got high self-esteem. So if they come to you and they don't even know that you don't like them, and you just gaslighting them like, I mean, I don't know, I think you was wrong, but anyway, it ain't. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into the pros and the cons. Oh, one last thing. You also got your people that argue the exception, which I can't stand.
What you mean by that?
I can't. Well, I'm not gonna say that. So I mean, all right. How do I do this? What's an example?
Yeah.
An example of arguing the exception. Men are stronger than women.
It's facts.
Men are like an average man is stronger than the average woman.
Right. It's facts.
you might have somebody come on to a platform and say, well, there are some women who are stronger than some men.
Right, we know that.
But that's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
We're saying most men, like 90%, 95%, whatever you want to say, the average man is going to be stronger than the average one. Fabian, you agree? Exactly. So that's just facts.
Yeah, it's just facts.
Like a 200-pound woman, most of the time, I'm going to be stronger than you. Arguing the exception. What I mean by that is that a person, like I said, you'll say men are stronger than women, and they'll say, well, there's women that are stronger than men. For example, there's a girl who just won the Olympics in powerlifter. She's stronger than, or Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes, she'll beat you in the fight. Bro, we're not talking about that. Mm-hmm. Because the number one fighter in the world, Amanda Nunes, is not doing nothing with John Jones.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So arguing the exception, now take it past that, there are people who every single thing you present, they'll even contradict themselves in order to prove you wrong. Mm-hmm. They don't even believe what they're saying. They're just arguing the exception because they don't want you to win the argument. Right. And I've dealt with situations like that oftentimes. And it's like to the point where I'll point out the inconsistencies in their argument. Like I'm having a discussion with a person about like, you know, masculinity and femininity, and then they proclaim themselves, they're probably dead. They'll proclaim themselves to be like or be against feminism in some way, which I don't agree with that, but that's just, you know, they don't like feminism. But then they'll have a feminist argument. I'll point it out to them, and then they still like, nah, I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's move on. Pros and cons of playing devil's advocate. We got some pros here, and I would say one would be to help examine the stance for its merit, which, I mean, you would agree.
I would agree, right? It helps you, I mean, it can help you look at, different point of views, right?
Right.
Look at things from multiple angles. It's one pro.
Yeah, I mean, in small doses, like, you know, I need to know, okay, let's look at it from this side.
And I think it's more, I would like that feedback more, you know, if I'm asking for it.
Absolutely.
It's really just if I'm asking for it, like, you know, what do you think? What do you think I should do? Or am I looking at this wrong?
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
Yeah.
Not coming from a person where they just automatically trying to figure out, well, you're wrong, or, you know, well, yeah.
I'm thinking of this Lil Wayne line, praying for the worst, but still prepared for the worst, but still praying for the best. Mm-hmm. You know that line? I'm not a star.
A-Ball.
Nah, this is Rick Ross.
Not a star.
You know you can't. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
But praying for the best, but you're preparing for the worst.
Yeah,
so like if
okay,
I'm preparing for the worst, like what's the worst case scenario? That's a great time to play devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. Provoking deeper thought, we kind of touched on that. Mm-hmm. Truth, like seeking the truth. Okay, so is this what you really believe? Let's change the scenario one aspect, and then okay, would you believe it if it was like this? Okay, to uncover the truth, I would say okay, that might be positive, right? Practice for argument. Look, if you're a person who needs to be good at arguing, maybe you would encourage like the people around you, hey, poke holes in my argument. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know who needs that.
Right.
But maybe even people who do a podcast. Like I want to be really good at organizing my thoughts and delivering my point. Mm-hmm. Right? So let's spar. Play devil's advocate for a second. Make sure I'm solid in my argument. Also offering a different perspective or viewpoint. That's the only pros, and they're all kind of similar.
Right. Right. I would say like they're pretty much under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
And it's just basically a sector, right, in a different industries.
Absolutely. So the cons, and it's a long list.
Everything.
But it makes people feel discounted, invalidated, and unsupported. So basically, like, I come to you, bro, this happened at work, this person is going crazy, my boss is being abusive, so I came in 5 minutes late, she ain't trying to pay me for the whole day. Well, did you look at it from your boss perspective?
Right.
Them 5 minutes could have been the hardest 5 minutes of the day. Bro, did you hear what I just said? I worked for 7 hours and 55 minutes, and you talking about them 5, bro? Yeah. I'm broke.
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, like I'm not coming to you because I need your opinion. I'm coming to you to tell you, like, to vent. A lot of times people coming to you with the problems of their day, they're not looking for you to prove them wrong.
Right.
So they feel unsupported, feel like their feelings or their perspective is invalidated and discounted. It also discounts the person's first-hand experience. Like, I lived this, kind of like that Shannon Sharp example. I lived this. You talk about it.
Yeah.
But I wrote something else. You bring your personal experience, and they bring the scenario. They bring a speculative scenario in which you are always wrong. Bruh, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I'm literally telling you, I just went through this, and you're telling me no.
Right.
What?
And there's some people out there like that, man.
There's people out there.
Man, I know one right now.
Hey, when the camera
everything. Everything. Like, in regards to, like, me even to go to purchase my car.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that ain't really need to be. Oh, well, how about this one? That
right.
the one you looking at ain't really it. They don't make good cars. What is you talking about? You just pulling stuff out the hat right now.
Just saying anything.
Anything. For what? Because I ain't asking you.
Right. So then you get into unnecessary arguments. That's another big con. Like, I'm not trying to argue, especially with, and we can kind of tie this into relationships too. I don't want to argue with the person I'm choosing to be with.
Right, somebody you gotta wake up with on a day-to-day basis.
Let me rephrase that. I don't want to argue for no reason with the person I'm choosing to be with.
Right.
Like, I'm not about to every day I come home tell you what's going on and now we in an argument. And these arguments oftentimes come up when people don't even care about the topic at hand. It's really like, I want to be right. I want to, I want to seem like my opinion is better than you. I think better than you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even about me believing it.
Right.
That's why I said this is a conversation about belief, because it's like, if you don't believe it, shut the fuck up. Like,
right.
And I'm not talking to nobody in particular, by the way.
I wonder though, like, does this stem from an event like in childhood, or were they challenged as a child? Because a lot of the things that we do stems from childhood, the way how we grew up, and experiences from how we grew up.
It's
to
possible.
develop that type of trait.
It's definitely possible. Like, maybe your opinion was invalidated, constantly coming up, or your parents always was playing devil's advocate
with you,
and then now you just do that all the time. Yeah. It could be that. I think sometimes it comes from, like, people really thinking that they're better than you.
There are some people out there like that.
I think it's like, maybe you go to college or you have like some type of worldly experience, and then you come back, and because you have that experience, you kind of weaponize it. You know what I'm saying? I read this book, and this book don't agree with what you're talking about. Let me flex on you real quick.
Right.
I think if you can't ever get too inflated about the type of person you are and what your experiences mean. End of the day, your experiences are just moments. It doesn't make your experience any better than another person's. So when people come to you with their truth, the best thing to do is to probably believe them. And then if you see a gaping hole in their thought process or their rationale, wait, point it out at a later date. And also you can ask if a person is open to suggestion. But some people, regardless of what you say, even if you're right, they ain't not rocking with that.
Right.
Another con, emotional damage. So it's kind of obvious, right? So emotional damage due to personal investment. If you went through something, Brad, you mad, you coming to me to tell me, I'm not mad.
Right.
You mad.
Right.
So you being mad, me saying you wrong, it's not gonna make you mad, make you feel good.
It's gonna make me mad.
Right. Right. So it's like bear in mind, this person is invested in what they're telling you.
Right.
You're some third party, completely unassociated.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, once you're expressing, your feelings or whatever may happen, to someone and you coming to someone to express those feelings, and yeah, it's just kind of just like you said, just invalidating your opinion,
right?
Yeah. It just make you feel small, will make you more mad, like all right, you just disrespected me,
right? I just got disrespected.
Yeah, I just got disrespected, and now you just fuel to the fire.
Perfect example, bro. I'm in Costco yesterday. I don't think I told you about this.
Nah.
I'm in Costco yesterday. It's packed because of the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And I get in line, you know what I'm saying? It's a long line. Mm-hmm. And you know how the aisles in Costco kind of feed into the line if it's long,
mm-hmm.
like from the side. So this person comes out of an aisle, walks straight in the line in front of me.
Yeah.
Little like 20-some-year-old Arabian or Middle Eastern dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, sir. And I'm talking loud because it's packed, it's loud. I said, sir, I'm in line. He turned around, already mean mugging.
Yeah.
So, there's nothing stopping you, go ahead. I'm like, you good, bro? Like, what's going on? Like, we had a stand-up and everything, he walked behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm sitting there, I know like this person trying to pull the evil out of me.
Yeah.
So I got there. I'm like thinking about everything. Like, I'm gonna have to fight this thing right now. Like, I got slides on. It's slippery in Costco. You've been to Costco, you know, slippery in that thing.
Yeah.
Everything is hard.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I will take the fly.
And mind you, all them thoughts went through his mind in about
right. In about 5 seconds,
milliseconds.
Right, yeah. I'm thinking about everything.
Equalizer.
I sized them up. Yeah.
I got slides
Look,
on.
hey,
My socks
peeping.
gonna
I knew
slip.
everything he was buying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but I will beat him with the flowers he holding in his hand. Nigga, like, and so I'm just standing there and I just laughed, bro. I just let out a laugh. I'm not gonna lie, the laugh was to try to provoke him. He's like, what are you laughing about? I be like, bro, you wanna fight? And all I did, bro, I just squeezed the mess out of the cart to get some of the aggression out. And then just kept going with my day, but he was really trying, right? So the whole time before I get to the line, I'm still looking. I'm trying to make eye contact with him. You know what I'm saying? And by the time I got to the parking lot, it was over with. I'm not gonna lie though, before I got to my car, I was looking in car windows to see if he was out there. Nonetheless, right, I called a few people and told them about that.
Yeah.
If the first person I called, let's say I called them right when it happened, first person I called was like, well, I mean, how did you speak to them? What was your tone? Did you come off as disrespectful? Think about it from their shoes. Bro, I'm telling you the story from my perspective. You don't even know this person.
Right.
Listen to what I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it adds to that anger and exhaustion. Like, I'm not really trying to go back and forth with you, but now I'm doing it anyway because I feel like I'm defending myself out in the world, and now I'm defending my damn argument with you on the phone. And it's not always an appropriate place or time. Also, your delivery. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when people are being questioned and they're emotionally invested, they can automatically revert to like a defensive mode.
Right.
So now you're going tit for tat. You know, they feel like you interrogating them. So it's just not going to be productive based off of all those things. Oh, damn. The other con, man, read that out, man. You can read that out, man.
What you got?
At that star right there.
Oh, it assumes that person is overlooking something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What that mean to you?
It means, almost in a sense to me, it means that you're almost insulting that person's intelligence, right? Like,
Absolutely.
You know, you don't know what you're doing. Like, let me show you what you're not seeing.
Right.
Type thing. You're trying to pick out. Well, you got a problem. Well, the problem really resolved in you because you're always overlooking something.
Absolutely.
You dumb, basically. You start talking honestly. That person that maybe talking to you that feels like you're overlooking something. Almost sounds like a parent.
Yeah.
Like a parent getting ready to tell you how
they're patronizing.
You did something. Yeah.
They're patronizing you. Basically, like, I'm the all-seeing person. I seen every aspect of this, even though I wasn't there. I'm not invested. I seen everything. You missing something.
Yeah.
So an argument, it's an argument without belief, and we want to preach, for the purposes of this conversation, facts over fiction. Like, stick with the facts. What do you know to be true based off of what this person is telling you? Assume that the person is telling the truth and respond accordingly. Do not present some alternate universe where you're right and they're wrong. Right. People want to be right even if they don't believe their stance. Right. And that just goes back into that attachment to your argument. Like you going back and forth. After a certain point, you ever been in an argument where like you yelling, they yelling, and you don't even know what you're arguing about. Yeah, like how did we get here? Somebody cut me off in line.
Yeah, I'm the type too when I'm arguing, right? Like I'm ready for it to end.
Right.
I'm arguing like, all right, leave me alone.
Right.
Then that person's trying to go like, I'm about to start throwing insults at you. Trying to like I gotta stop myself. Like, all right, F it. I don't ever want to see you again. Right. How about that? You want to argue? I'm about to pack up, leave. You ain't gotta worry about it. You can have the place.
Go ahead, player.
Go ahead. You figure it out.
All right. So how to stop? Let's say that you find yourself, because a lot of people do this. I'm not gonna lie. It literally just happened to me with a friend on the phone, and I don't take offense to it now because I know I do it because I catch it so many times. Because me and my lady, we do it all the time, and then we like, you know what? Man, forget that with that person BS and like. Yeah. So we catch it so many times because I do it all the time. How do you stop yourself from doing it? Don't play devil's advocate if you believe what you're saying. If you believe, let your yay be your yay and your nay be your nay. Right. Basically, take a stance. Like some people want to, like we said, veil their beliefs based on just arguing this hypothetical. No, if you believe it, say it. If you don't believe it, don't say it.
Don't say it. Right.
Another way you can do it is be a stan. Remember the song Stan? Eminem. Hey Stan, I'm your number one fan.
Oh
Yeah, that joint. So be a stan, not to the extent of jumping off a bridge, but be a stan for the person that you care about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, take the affirmative when possible. If you don't care, don't argue. If you don't care, don't argue. Think about the person first, the situation second. Like, maintain the relationship. What did I say? If somebody is venting, if someone is venting to you, don't automatically challenge their position. That kind of goes back to what we've been touching on. Right. Another way that you could do, I'll let you read this one. That one right there.
The wait and readdress later.
Yeah, so wait and readdress later.
Yeah, readdress later.
That's basically like if you really do see something that's wrong, you don't gotta address it right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can come back to it. Because like you said a few podcasts ago, when the emotions are high,
intentions emotions are high, intelligence are low.
Intelligence is low.
Right.
Basically meaning like a person might not even hear you because they're being emotional. They're emotionally attached. So if you wait, a few hours even, could be a few days, send a follow-up text like, hey, I know you real upset. Can we talk about this tomorrow? Maybe when you cool down from it a little bit.
Right.
Let me see. Another one, bro. It's a couple slogans or sayings that I really dislike because I feel like it's overplayed.
Yeah.
If I hear a person say, just to play devil's advocate, I don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because 9 times out of 10, I done rationalize this in my head. I done poke holes in it. I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So you talking about some just to play? Nah, we ain't playing. In the conversation, you know what I'm saying? Another one, we could touch on this later, but piggybacking. It might just be a me thing.
Yeah.
Anytime a person say, I just said something, right? Or somebody in the room just said something. Oh yeah, just to piggyback off of what he said, I just want to say something completely unrelated to what he said.
Right, man, do that in the military, bro.
Yeah. That's every day.
Hey, bro, I hate that, bro.
That's every day. For sure.
I hate that, bro. I literally, like, in my class, I can't wait for somebody to say just to piggyback. Because I'm going to be like, whoa, stop the lesson. Hey, in this class, what we don't do is piggyback. Everybody say piggyback. Piggyback. All right, don't say that again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand it. And I, like, intentionally, I don't say it. Because I know it might be another person in the room like me who don't want to hear that. Also, have your own opinion.
Right.
But I digress. stop piggybacking. Stop saying just to play devil's advocate. Like it's overused, and a person like me is gonna take exception to you saying that, because most of the time, like, I don't need that. If I didn't ask for it, why are we doing that?
Right.
Also, so it could be triggering for a person, because also it's used a lot of times by people, like we said, that have those beliefs but don't want to come out and say them.
Right.
So there's some things you can try instead of saying just to play a devil's advocate.
Oh, these are ways to mitigate.
So ways to say it in a different way.
Okay. Write it down.
You can't wait your whole life to make a change.
Believe in yourself.
Innovate with integrity and intentionality.